Oke, silakan.
Baik, Bismillahirrohmanirrohim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our online meeting tonight. First of all, let us thank God Almighty for His blessing and mercy, so we can gather here virtually in good health. Let me introduce our team tonight. My name is Dinda Ningsih. I'm from Asalam Ranca Bali Middle School. Then our presenter, Miss Teni Anissa from SMP Al Muhsinin. Hello, Miss Teni. And the other members, Mr. Cahya, Miss Tanti, Miss Yanti, Mr. Imam, and Mr. Gilang. Thank you for taking the time to join us. To begin our event, we will first listen to the welcoming remarks from the head of MDMP Bahasa Inggris Subrayon 3, Miss Tariana.
Oke.
Miss Tariana, the floor is yours.
Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
Good
wabarakatuh.
evening, everybody. I'm really glad and I'm very appreciate your participation here. Your you take the time to join this meeting. And I hope all the member will participate actively in this activity. First of all, I'd like to give you welcoming remark for all members, and I hope you will take the good advantage of this meeting. I hope this meeting gives some meaningful knowledge and some meaningful insight for you to develop yourself. Okay, in today we are sharing and discussing without like teaching to the others. Okay, we just sharing and discussing. So don't be hesitate to share your idea, to put forward your opinion. This is free. Yeah, this is learning. Okay, maybe that's all. Thank you for your attention and your participation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for the warm and insightful remarks, Miss Tariana. And now we move on to the main session of tonight's event, the presentation and discussion. We are honored to have Miss Teni Anissa as our speaker tonight. To Miss Teni, please begin your representation.
Okay, thank you so much to Miss Dinda who become moderators tonight. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Good
warahmatullahi
evening, everyone.
wabarakatuh.
Actually, I'm very nervous here because I speak in front of of my seniors. But I try my best, Miss, to explain and sharing about our topic today. As I said before, uh, our topic today is about project-based learning. But before that, let me show or share the screen. Okay, is my voice clear enough, Miss?
Okay, I can hear your voice.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss. Okay, and this is the slide.
Yes,
Is it so clearly?
yes, yes.
Okay.
I can see
Oh
your
my God,
picture.
langsung thank you. Okay, let's start our topic today. Okay, tonight I choose to present, or I will present about project-based learning versus learning ended by project. And I believe that almost all of you have already heard about this strategy or this method in teaching English in your class. But let me sharing my knowledge, my a piece of knowledge to you all about project-based learning and learning ended by project. Okay, the in the next slide, we will talk about the definition of project-based learning. So, what is project-based learning, or we can call it PGBL or PBL? But if we call it by PBL, uh, I I'm afraid that we can differentiate between problem-based learning and project-based learning. So, I choose to call it PGBL. So PGBL is a teaching method where students gain knowledge and skills by working over an extended period of time to investigate and respond to a complex questions, problem, or challenge. Instead of traditional instruction focused on memorizations, PGBL emphasizes active exploration and real-world relevance. And this strategy or this teaching strategy is very familiar since we use curriculum Merdeka. So because in curriculum Merdeka we know that the students it is student centered learning, not teacher centered learning again, like a traditional method. So in student center, we ask the students to active participate in every learning and not just us as teacher who provide or transfer the knowledge like that. Okay, and this is the key features of PGBL. This is the characteristic of PGBL, where the first is real world connections. So with PGBL, the students will connect the real world with the learning material that they learn with us, with teachers. And I think this is a easier way to make them understand about the material because it relate and connect to the world, real world like that. And the second is student driven inquiry. As I said before, that students driven inquiry is very important nowadays because we can talk with them as not as teacher and student, but we can talk with them like we are friends. We can share each other easily. Not what is that? Tidak ada batasan ya, not limited by a relationship. But I am the teacher and you are my student. You should hear what I say, not like that. And then in student-driven inquiry, of course, the students will active participate in every learning step like that. Not only the the teacher who who teach, who talk, but they can talk to us too, to their friends. They can sharing each other like that, and collaboration because project-based learning usually uh, is a teamwork, so that collaboration is very important in project-based learning, and then process of a product. In project-based learning, uh, process is more important than product. It's not only about product, but the process. We as the teacher, we have to guide them. We pay attention to their process, not only the product, like that. And then student choice and advice. Yeah, because it is students driven inquiry. Of course the students will have the they can choice, I'm sorry, they can choice, and they can talk about their needs, their willingness to us. So we in this project based learning, we as the teacher become a facilitator and motivator for them like that. And the last is public presentations, because after all of the process or all of the step of PGBL, they have to presentation about their project in front of us, and this can increase their speaking skill, their confidence, so that they can be that they are confident in to talk in front of us like that. And this is the second topic. What is learning ended by project, or we can call it LEP. LEP is a teaching method where students complete a project at the end of a lesson or unit to show what they have learned. Although both of project-based learning and learning ended by project, uh, it's both have project in their name, but it is very different because in learning ended by project, the students will follow the the learning process from us. So it looks like a teacher center, and the end they can participate by doing a project like that. And learning ended by project usually be done as the summative like that. Yeah, in the end of lesson our units. And this is the difference, and very small I think. Yeah, let me ah, okay. This is the difference between project based learning and learning ended by project. Uh, Nah, this is the timing, the time. Project is the learning process in project based learning, but in learning ended by project, the project follows the learning process. So after the learning process is finished, and then the project occurs. But in project based learning, the project is the learning process. So it's very different like that. And then the focus. Project based learning is focused uh, in learning happens through doing the project. And the learning ended by project. Project showcase what was already learned. So in short, here I take a note. The learning ended by project is more like show me what you learned, not what show me what you learned. So after all of the step or all of the learning process is finished, you have to show me what you learned like that. That is the learning ended by project. But in project based learning, learning happens through doing the project. So um, we as the teacher can guide them directly in project based learning. In learning ended by project, we as the teacher just finish all of the learning process, and then we ask them to make a project like that. That is the difference. And then the structure in project based learning, the structure its structure is inquiry driven ongoing learning. But in learning ended by project, this is usually more structured after instruction. So after uh, all of the material is delivered, so we can give them instruction to make project like that. And teacher role in here, we in project based learning we can be facilitator throughout project. And in learning ended by project, this is direct instruction followed by project assignment like that. And this is very different, uh, of course. And it's still the difference or the comparison between LEP and project based learning. Yeah, in the first point, it's still the same, but in the purpose of the project, in learning and by project, the project is proposed to show what was learned. Yeah, as I said before. And in project based learning, the project is aim is aiming to help students learn new things like that. Because in the process, when we use project based learning, we can collab with our students. So when they drafting a text or everything, they can ask ask our opinion. For example, Miss, gimana kalau kayak gini ya? And then we can give feedback to them like that. And the teacher role, yeah, as a facilitator in project-based learning, teacher guides students during the project, but in learning ended by project, teacher teach first and then assign the project like that. And students' role in learning ended by project, the student just apply what they have already learned. But in project-based learning, they explore, they research, and learn through the project like that. And type of learning. In project-based learning, more student-driven and open-ended, so uh, they can gain or they can search the information freely, so they can explore what thing that they want like that. But in learning ended by project, it's more structured and teacher led like that. And for the assessment, I'm sorry, project is used as final assessment, yeah, summative like that. But in project based learning, learning is assessed throughout the project. And then the focus of project based learning, the process, not the product. And for the learning and then the project is the opposite. This is focus for the product and focus the final result like that. And this is our role in project based learning. We become a teacher who facilitates, and we become facilitator and motivator for our students. The first is engaging learning experiences. So the point is designing engaging and interactive activities, because um, almost of us teach Gen Z who have a high, what is the curiosity about everything. They can and they more like interactive activities rather than just listen, just sit down and listen to us. So we have to become teacher who can facilitate their needs like that. And then the second is emotional support and motivation, helping students stay motivated and confident. Because as my experience when I teach my students, actually there are a lot of my students who can speak English, but they lack of confidence. When I talk to her, why you being shy? Just say it. Just try to speak English with me. But she said, "I'm sorry, miss. I'm not confident." I think we have to motivate our students to become more confident, because they they have a lot of skills and ability that can uh can improve themselves actually like that. And then technology in learning. Of course, this is a very important things when we teach in nowadays, because technology is uh, what is that? Using technology to deliver material effectively. So we can use like quizzes, we can use like DeepSeek or Kahoot, Bamboozle to teach. So we cannot just teach our students the Gen Z just for like traditional methods. So that's not what is that? That's not suitable for this era, because we can compare our era with them, because they is more rapid in receive a lot of information. They can search, they can explore their uh, to fulfill their curiosity. They can search everything, and we cannot we cannot just kita tuh intinya kan, kalau di bahasa Indonesia jangan ketinggalan sama mereka gitu. We have to take one step in front of them. Kita nggak boleh ketinggalan like that. And the last is discussion and decision making. Uh, Actively involve students in the learning process. As I said before, that this era is student-centered era, not teacher. center era again, like that. And this is the benefit of PGBL. The first is deeper understanding. Deep, deeper understanding because with PGBL, it can encourage critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making of the students. Because they work in team, they have to make a decision making for their choices like that, and they have to encourage their critical thinking, and of course they will more understand the material like that, and then help the students understand and retain concept better. And the second is problem solving. Yeah, as I said before, because this is the teamwork, so they can do it individually. They have to think this is for our project, not for my project, like that. And then, not collaboration, but improve engagement and motivation. Because project-based learning is based on real-world relevance, this is can increase interest and enthusiasm of the students like that. And then development of life skills. Um, because they have to doing a project, so they have to have the time management skills like that, and then self-directed learners like that, and then collaboration and communication skills. Yeah, because they work in teams, so they have to collab each other. They can be selfish. They have to respect each other idea, and they have the communication in the group. Uh, well, not just I am become a leader, so I can doing this project by myself. No, but they have to collaborate each other. They have to communicate. Uh, if they have idea maybe, and they can make a what is that? They can make a project will be better like that. And then creativity and innovations. Yeah, because the project is open-ended project. This is allow for creative approach and solutions. So uh, they can show, or they can make a project creatively as they want, and then they can use technology that they want. Like nowadays, the students is very familiar with CapCut. They can make video with CapCut. They can editing. They can post it on their social media, and I think that's a good thing in this era like that. They can doing everything creatively. It's more better than my era actually, because my era actually I included as Gen Z, but not but I I learned by traditional methods. So when I see my students who are very creative in editing video or doing their project, I'm very proud. Wow, they're very young, but they very creative in video, in poster like that. Okay, and this is the benefit of LEP. Demonstration of mastery. Yeah, because the what is that? The learning process is finished first, so they can mastery that can understand the materials more, maybe like that, and then application of knowledge, and then engaging assessment method, skill integration, and student pride and motivations. And this is the example of learning ended by project, uh, which is done by my students, but I'm not sure there is a sound on on your device, because when I try to play it, this is not sound, but I will try to show you. Actually, this is the video, because I when I teach them about advertisement in the ninth grade as a part of a search functional. text, I use learning ended by project. I explain all of the material first, and at the end of the learning process, I ask them to make a project by doing or by making advertisement with video or with a poster, I think, and once again by voice. Uh, Actually, the sound is very good, but I can show you. Maybe later I will share this PowerPoint to you so uh, you can watch it like that. And this is about Sprite, and this is about Le Minerale. And I asked them to upload it on their social media and take uh, the product Instagram account. And this advertisement is noticed by Le Minerale directly like that. And I think that's a good thing for them. That's good achievement like that. Um, Although I realized that because I doing the learning ended by project, so I can guided them directly. There are a lot of mistake of grammarly, but it's okay. I think because when they have project like this and they can finish it well, it's very heart touching for me. Although there are a lot of mistakes, it's okay because they can learn. But when they do it, what is that? Confidently and creatively, I'm very excited. Nah, this is the example. And for this, I teach this material by using project-based learning in narrative text. So I guide them directly when they analyze the generic structure, when they analyze the simple past tense or past continuous tense. I guided them, what is it, directly. And at the end of the project, they have to present doing the presentation in front of the class like that. But I realized that when I use project-based learning, it's very time consuming. And we just have limited time in the class, so we have to divide the meeting into several meetings. But it's okay. I think the process is more important than the result. Okay, this is let's improve learning. Yeah, active effective learning is the key to success in educating junior high school students. It is important for us to continue to evaluate and implement the strategies discussed in order to create a better learning experience. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your attention. And let's discuss if there are any questions. Once again, thank you so much.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. Need. Thank you for the informative and engaging presentation. Shall we open a question? Uh,
Ya, silahkan Miss and
Raise hand ya,
Mister.
raise hand ya.
yeah.
Raise hand.
Please raise your hand.
Oke, oke Bu Riris, raise hand. Are you raise your hand? Do you have any questions? Oh no, clap. Oke, thank you so much. Karena oh ya Miss, Teni juga mau bilang salam kenal buat semuanya. Mungkin karena Teni baru ngajar 2 tahun ini ya, jadi masih belum kenal sama yang lainnya. Sama ibu bapak yang sangat luar biasa, salam kenal semuanya.
Iya, tuh yang lainnya
Ya,
dibuka,
Mr.
dibuka ya
Need.
kameranya, jadi kelihatan wajahnya. Ini ada yang hidup apa ini? Pak Thomas Crown itu siapa ini Thomas Crown? Ini ada orang bule gitu. Oke. Ini ya Bu Teni, terima kasih ya. Thank you for your presentation.
Yeah.
Actually, during my learning, it seems that what is called saling ini ya, learning and by the project and project based learning.
Besok.
Okay, so how we can differentiate, for example, the steps in
Mm.
learning process, how it can be differs between
Mm.
learning. Can we what can we apply the other method and then make a project, so that is LEP, and then uh, project based learning, there are some steps that we can follow. Okay,
Okay.
maybe you can elaborate more between this LEP and project based learning in
Best
terms of
learning.
the step, maybe, yeah, the syntax,
Okay.
for example.
Okay,
Thank
for the step, Miss. Okay. But before that, thank you so much for your questions, Miss. I will try to explain it. For the step, it's very different between project-based learning and learning ended by project. Because in project-based learning, there are some steps. Like for the first, we have um, to deliver to the student the essential questions for like kita belajar ini untuk apa sih? We learning this for what? What you apa yang kalian misalkan apa yang kalian pikirkan nih nanti di akhir tuh kita mau ngapain gitu. Itu buat project based learning. Pertamanya we have to ask the students, let them wondering, let they wondering what will they learn and what is the result of the material like this. And the second is project planning and grouping. For the project based learning, of course, usually project based learning is done by the teamwork. Yeah. So we have to divide them into some groups, and then we have to plan like we talk about narrative text. So I hope in 2 weeks we can make a project. So we have to uh, what is that? We have to tell them the project planning. For example, like for the first meeting, we can search the materials, and then the second meeting, we can revise your drafting. Maybe you can draft, and the third meeting, you can ask the revise from me, like that. And the next step is research and language input. So we can let them to research whatever they want about the material. For example, in narrative text, they choose to they choose to uh, the story about bawang merah bawang putih, and then for example our project is storytelling. Akhirnya storytelling. Finally, they have to to storytelling in front of their friends. So we can divide them to some groups, and then we tell them about the planning, the project planning, like maybe like in this group, maybe who is want to be a leader, for example, and then you I think you misalkan kita tuh membantu gitu, bukan ikut campur ya Miss, tapi kayak kita tuh mengarahkan kayaknya nih kalau teman kamu yang ini tuh there is misalkan she is expert in grammar, so I think you can become what is that, become yang bikin narasi tambahan misalkan karena mau ditampilkan di depan, like that. Itu drafting masuknya Miss ke next step ya. And then the next step is creating the final project, and then presentation, and the last step is assessment and reflections. And this is different. It's very different with learning ended by project, because in learning ended by project, we as a teacher, We deliver the material from the definitions until the language features, all of about narrative text to them. And the end, we ask them to make project like that, Miss. As I know, maybe if I am wrong, you can give in the new insight, maybe, or give additions for our discussion today. Like that, Miss. As far as I know, like that.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe.
Can we say this project-based learning and by project are active learning?
I think it can be, Miss, for active learning because um, rather than the learning process in what is one way from the teacher to the students, but in project-based learning, we let them to what is that to show or to tell their opinion to us. Like, Miss, kayaknya aku cocoknya mau pilih yang ini. It can be, dan kita bisa nge-guide mereka. Like, if you choose that story, for example, in narrative story, you know what is the moral story of this. Misalkan, yes, I know, Miss, dan lain-lain. Jadi lebih aktif, Miss, and effective. I think like that. Kalau memang sih, kalau learning ended by project, anaknya tuh aktif, but in the end biasanya kayak gitu. Tapi kalau project based learning itu anak-anak dituntut untuk aktif uh, through the process, all of the process. Kalian harus aktif. Ya, salah satu mungkin weaknessesnya ya, kekurangan atau kelemahan dari project based learning itu tidak semua siswa, not all of the participant or the student is want to participate gitu. Kadang-kadang lack of participation. Kadang-kadang kan ada yang anak yang mendominasi ya, dominate. Ah, I can ini, I can ini, I can ini, I can ini. But there are some students who ya ngikut aja. Itu sih emang miss weaknessesnya. Dan diharapkan dengan project based learning itu anak yang ya inaktif atau pasif can be aktif. Walaupun memang kalau sudah jadi watak ya, Miss kalau sudah jadi sifat dan karakteristik anaknya susah mau disuruh juga gitu. Ayo kamu tuh harus gini gini gini. Kita udah mendorong, kita udah memotivasi segimanapun juga kalau anaknya memang ada aku mah gini. Itu memang agak susah Miss, itu agak challenging ya kalau menurut saya pribadi challenging sekali karena ya di sekolah saya gitu berkaca di sekolah saya memang ada anak-anak yang seperti itu ada anak-anak yang aktif bertanya gini 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 ada anak yang ya udahlah yang penting beres gitu Miss itu yang
Ya,
kurangnya
oke.
gitu.
Bukan bukan di sekolah Anda aja ya, di Ibu Teni. Kayaknya
Oh
semua
iya
ya, problem di semua sekolah. Oke, mungkin yang
ya our
lainnya
problem.
silakan. Atau ini kemana ini pada kemana? Oke, silakan.
Hadir, Miss.
Oh.
Oke, tuh Bu Aas.
Oke Bu Aas.
Okay,
Oke.
thank you for the uh, opportunity for me. I'm just wondering, uh, when I have this material, such as I want to uh, give the material about narrative text, uh, and I know that I want to my student to have project in the last session, yeah. What best consideration no I mean what the best consideration, oh, I have to make these methods for the for this time. Oh, I think the best is for JBL or LEP, or what make you the consideration to, oh, I think this is much better or this is much better. What is your consideration? It's a small difference, I think, but what is the most consideration? Oh, I think this is the much better methods, or I think this much better methods, something like that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Aat. As for me, when I decided to use one method or project learning method or learning ended by project method, I usually look to the material, of course. Like when I give the students assignment to make a advertisement, uh, because I think uh, well, misalkan if I choose project based learning, it's very take long time for to finish the project because what is that? Because they have to editing, and actually I'm not into become editor. Saya pribadi kurang mengerti cara kayak mengedit dan lain-lainnya. Ternyata anak-anak yang lebih mengerti dan they say that aku bisa miss, aku bisa bu ngedit tapi nggak bisa kalau di sekolah. Dan misalkan kenapa nggak bisa di sekolah karena ngedit tuh lama bu. Nah belum juga take videonya katanya. Susah ini susah itu jadi kalau gitu saya mempertimbangkan kesulitan proyeknya dulu ya kalau proyeknya misalkan just simple like kita menelaah or analyze the generic structure of narrative text it can be done in 1 week for me in the narrative text because I am as the facilitator I give them like text so I randomly uh, what is that? They pick randomly for of the text from me like that. So uh, they can what is that? They can analyze in the class with my guidance uh, directly. So I just project based learning like that. So dilihat dulu juga Miss kalau aku ya pribadi mungkin eh, memang tipis banget bedanya project based learning and learning ended by project. Even karena dulu waktu saya nyusun skripsi tentang project based learning, saya terkecoh juga. Yang saya teliti, I think that is project based learning, but in reality that is learning ended by project. So I research what is the real project based learning, and I find the answer that project based learning have to the student have to guided by the teacher directly, not just like we explain the material to them, and udahnya kita bikin ya, misalkan for example di kelas 7 kita tuh ngajar tentang describing people. Kan biasanya describing people tuh akhirnya misalkan you have to make a text about your parents or your family maybe like that or the video of your family and you have to explain your father the characteristic or the physical appearance like that. Ternyata waktu diteliti kalau misalkan kita hanya memberikan tugas sedangkan tugasnya itu diselesaikan di rumah dengan bantuan misalkan orang tua atau ya kalau project juga sama temannya saja itu masuknya bukan project based learning karena tidak di direct langsung tidak guided langsung by the teacher karena kalau di project based learning itu ada kayak mereka drafting and then mereka bertanya jadi bukan cuma dari guru tapi mereka juga sudah menyiapkan misalkan aku udah selesai analyze the text apakah ini udah benar nah nanyain dulu misalkan ke gurunya bu ini saya udah nyoba apakah ini benar tentang ini apakah benar resolusinya ini apakah benar is it is it my project is misalkan betul tidak Miss tentang ini dan lain-lain. Nanti saya merevise kalau misalkan ada yang salah kayak gitu. Kalau saya mungkin dari yang lain ada tambahan dari ibu bapak yang lain, silahkan. Memang agak susah sih Miss ya, karena saya kan gimana ya. Jadi waktu ngajar anak-anak tuh kadang-kadang berpikirnya kayak gini, ini cocoknya gimana ya? Karena kelas 7, 8 dan 9 itu kan beda-beda ya Miss ya. Sifatnya anak kelas 7 biasanya masih ke bawah-bawah tuh rasa SD-nya tuh. Jadi dibanyakin game. Kalau kelas 7, kalau kelas 8 udah agak mengerti baru masuk ke structure, dan kelas 9 baru ke project yang memang kayak tadi bikin advertisement, bikin what is that kalau itu tuh cooking class kalau di saya Miss, jadi bikin in procedure text gitu ya, bikin how to make juice kayak gitu, mereka tuh bawa barang-barang sendiri, mereka cari dan lain-lain kayak gitu Miss dan Mister
Uh,
teman-teman.
I just realized that based on your uh, apa sih namanya paparannya, I
Explanation.
think I just
Explanation.
did LAP, not
Justification.
PGBL in my lesson in my class. Oh, I just find out. Okay, thank you. And one more thing. I just forgot. Apa itu tadi saya barusan ya? Uh, oh, I just forgot. Sorry, next
Tuh,
time.
budaya
Thank
budaya
you.
satu lagi tuh
Thank you so
angkat
much.
tangan ya.
Oke Budaya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Good
wabarakatuh.
evening, everyone. Uh, Sedikit berkaitan dengan yang Miss As tadi ya,
Ya.
tentang penerapan how to apply LEP and PBL in the classroom. Because at the present, I'm teaching a seventh grader in the junior high, and ya seperti yang Miss Tenny bilang tadi, kita kan masih ke bawah-bawah sifat dari SD ya, gitu. And most of them they are not very familiar with English because they didn't get English in elementary school. So um, fokus utamanya saya itu ya gimana dulu supaya mereka familiar gitu dengan bahasa Inggris gitu. Nah, untuk penerapan LEP dan PBL sendiri, uh, my question is there any suggestion for how to apply LEP and PBL in a situation? Because in my classroom, it's very crowded. There are around 40 students in the classroom because I teach in public school ya, Miss Tariana ya. Sekelasnya memang sangat padat gitu kalau di public school gitu. Jadi sometimes I confuse whether to use this method or that method, which one is more proper in the classroom, because um, the time simply is not enough. Waktunya memang sangat sempit ya, apalagi ya gitu kan di kelas itu. Tapi kita kan tujuannya ingin apa? Semuanya bisa gitu. Tapi ya memang waktunya kurang gitu. Nah, is there any suggestion when to use LEP or PBL, especially in the classroom with around 40 or 45 students untuk kelas yang padat gitu? When is the proper time to use such method? Thank you. I think that's my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Dea. Yeah, I feel you. But my student is just 35, not 40. But ya, susah, Miss, memang ya, crowded. Apalagi di kelas 7 di sekolah saya itu kebanyakan laki-laki. Masya Allah. Gaya perempuannya hanya diam-diam saja, tapi laki-lakinya ya, kalau suggestion dari saya mungkin ya Miss, waktu saya ya based on my experience, saya tuh bikin kan, kalau misalkan LEP itu sebenarnya bisa dipakai di mana saja ya, mau materi apapun bisa pakai LEP. Kayak tadi as I said before, that for example like descriptive text about our body, mereka bisa pakai LEP, bisa of course, apalagi buat mereka familiar dulu. Biasanya kita ngajarinnya vocab dulu ya Miss ya, biasanya tuh kayak vocab, atau we make slide misalkan kayak presentation, kita tuh satu-satu, ini namanya apa, ini namanya apa, ini namanya apa, sampai mereka tahu, sampai mereka hafal, baru misalkan kita bisa memberi tugas, biasanya seperti itu. Kalau di descriptive text, kalau saya bikinnya itu LEP kalau itu khusus, karena memang memorization dulu, merekanya suruh tahu dulu aja bahasa bahasa Inggrisnya tangan apa, jari-jari apa, kalau saya kayak gitu. Kalau projectnya saya itu mini project banget nih, karena di sini project itu bukan artinya like they have to make a video misalkan, atau misalkan mereka tuh harus bikin yang wah projectnya, no, karena project di sini ya, as Miss Dea said, we have limited time ya, karena kita tuh punya waktu di sekolah cuma dikit banget misalkan, apalagi yang siswanya sangat banyak, 40 sampai 45, itu kalau disuruh di absen satu-satu aja itu bakal susah, bakal lama, setengah jam atau 20 menit baru selesai misalkan, baru bisa kondusif. Nah kalau saya itu menyiasatinya itu kebanyakan pakai LEP Miss. Kalau project based learningnya mungkin hanya sangat mini gitu ya, kayak gini, cenderung di mix sih kalau saya sama apa tuh namanya, oh ini interactive gamification. Saya itu pernah, karena anak-anaknya terlalu crowded ya, tuh saya itu bikin pembelajaran pakai treasure hunt. Jadi mencari harta karun, mereka suruh nyari, harta karunnya saya umpetin di mana-mana aja, mereka saya suruh keluar, saya suruh cari ke sana, pokoknya kalian lari-lari capek-capek nggak apa-apa, yang penting kalian bisa, misalkan waktu mereka dapat, jadi mereka tuh tugasnya menyusun, kalau saya menyusun saat itu kalau tidak salah materinya tentang nationality, tentang kebangsaan awal-awal, karena mereka sudah saya kasih tugas juga sebelumnya mencari-cari nama-nama kebangsaan, saya suruh mereka untuk menyusun, jadi ada kata-katanya itu per letter ya, jadi per apa ya, per letter, setiap hurufnya itu saya gunting satu-satu, saya masukin ke plastik, suruh mereka cari plastiknya di mana. Memang itu simple sebenarnya, mereka cuma disuruh untuk menyusun, tapi yang uniknya Miss, saya nyuruh mereka nyusun nationality, mereka bisanya itu menyebutkan kayak, oh ini aku taunya kata kata ganti yang harusnya disusun jadi, misalkan for example Indian, mereka itu jadi bikinnya N, huruf sambung dan lain-lain. Mungkin karena tadi ya, karena dari elementary-nya mereka nggak belajar bahasa Inggris sama sekali ya, jadi saya tahu oh ternyata knowledge mereka baru sampai sini, dan itu saya guidance semuanya, saya liatin satu-satu kelompok, kalian dapat berapa, kalian udah bisa nyusun berapa kalimat, atau bukan kalimat, berapa kata. Ternyata memang agak sulit menerapkan PJBL di kelas 7, tapi bisa Miss disiasatinya dengan cara misalkan kalau sekolahnya memperbolehkan membawa handphone. Waktu saya kan kalau di sekolah saya tidak ya Miss, kecuali memang diizinkan oleh guru yang bersangkutan, contohnya misalkan oleh guru bahasa Inggris disuruh bawa HP baru, kalau di sekolah saya seperti itu. Kalau misalkan di sekolah Miss dia memperbolehkan membawa HP, itu lebih mudah. Kayak misalkan untuk kelas 7 nih ya, misalkan salah satu bagian misalkan materinya itu tentang introducing myself and the others. Nah itu bisa bikin videonya, projectnya simple saja. Mereka harus bikin what is that? Mereka harus bikin video, atau misalkan video yang memperkenalkan mereka sama teman-teman mereka nih. Coba cari teman kamu misalkan minimal 5, suruh mereka memperkenalkan diri gitu. Bisa seperti itu. Ya misalkan kalau di kelas terlalu crowded, kalau ada lapangan bisa dipakai di lapangan Miss. Jadi Miss juga bisa bisa nge-guide mereka sih, coba dilihat. Karena kan biasanya pandangan seorang guru mah lebih luas ya Miss. wah kelihatan anak yang diem-diem aja kelihatan, anak yang lari-larian doang kelihatan, anak-anak yang benar-benar ngerjain kelihatan. Nah, bisa seperti itu mungkin Miss kalau saran dari saya. Tapi kalau misalkan dari Miss, dari ibu, bapak, guru yang lain punya suggestion yang lebih bagus, mungkin bisa di-sharing di sini Miss. Ya, kalau saya sih gitu Miss. Karena ya tadi kata ya balik lagi karena kelas 7 itu masih wah sekali ya harus ekstra sabar, kitanya ngajarnya ekstra sabar, bukan cuma ngajarin bahasa Inggrisnya tapi meladeni sikap mereka yang memang masih ke bawah-bawah SD-nya. Nah, itu salah satunya karena biasanya anak-anak lebih suka gerak. Anak-anak Gen Z sekarang tuh lebih suka gerak daripada disuruh duduk sidakep dengerin ibu ngomong. Nggak bisa kayak gitu, Miss. Kalau menurut saya gitu, Miss Dea.
Iya, makasih banyak Miss Tani.
Iya, Miss. Mungkin ada yang lain yang mungkin ada pernah bikin apa gitu eh, karena saya mah limited ya Missnya baru-baru segitu-gitu aja gitu yang
Oke,
saya
terima kasih Bu Teni.
Sama-sama,
Ide-idenya
I'm
sangat
still
apa
learning too.
namanya meaningful. Nah, oke, saya akan ini ya apa namanya experience-nya based on my experience. Kan saya itu mengajar itu 7, 8, 9 gitu. Terus dari dulu itu muridnya kan pernah 45, 48 gitu dan sekarang 45 ya. 45, 46 lah. Oke, untuk kelas awal junior high school tadi ya benar. Untuk yang pertama minimal anak itu suka dulu bahasa Inggris. Jadi kita tidak force mereka untuk bisa communicate ya minimal kan dari vocabulary vocabulary aja dulu yang apa yang sederhana gitu. Tadi misalnya my body bisa pakai yang pakai gerakan itu ya, misalnya sat atau misalnya touch your hand, nah seperti itu atau misalnya touch your head atau yang ini ya, yang kita pakai gerakan this is my head, this is my, nah itu kan itu jadi mereka mengulang drilling, nah itu yang drilling misalnya mengucap ulang kata guru dulu baru semua atau per baris. Nah, saya suka diinikan itu namanya spelling nilai ya. Kan saya buat daftar nilai di belakang buku mereka. Jadi mereka membuat sendiri daftar nilai, score list, number, date, eh, ininya activity-nya apa, kemudian skornya. Nah, saya sebutkan misalnya yang grup A itu nilainya 82, misalnya ini 75 dan sebagainya. Jadi mereka tahu nilai mereka sendiri. Jadi sebenarnya guru itu enak tinggal rata-rata aja mereka menghitung rata-ratanya. Jadi tahu nilai yang perkiraan di rapot. Untuk kelas 7 awal-awal sama hampir ke semua ya. Untuk awal itu kita buat kesepakatan gitu, seperti itu. Jadi kesepakatan dalam pembelajaran. Ya, saya biasa ke anak-anak kemarin juga yang P5 ini kita kesepakatan ya yang umum. Kalau ibu ngomong kamu diam. Kalau kamu ngomong ibu diam. Nah, jadi seperti itu ketika yang ngobrol kita diam, ya udah oh berarti itu suruh diam seperti itulah. Jadi terus konsisten. Nah, salah satu yang kesepakatan kelas itu untuk apa namanya? Menghargai waktu. Saya kan 15 menit guru tidak masuk udah lewat sama seperti halnya mereka selama pembelajaran itu tidak boleh keluar seperti itu. Nah, itu yang satu kesepakatan kelas. Kemudian yang bergerak itu ya, misalnya yang tadi drilling, terus yang ucap ulang per baris, per apa namanya? Semua dulu. Jadi per baris atau semua nanti dua orang gitu atau per bangku. Nah, itu ya karena kelasnya banyak apa siswanya banyak. Nah, bagaimana dengan LIP? Ini bisa dilakukan. Misalnya kalau tugas itu, saya itu ada proyeknya misalnya yang My Family itu menceritakan keluarga sendiri itu ada fotonya, tolong pakai foto, terus ceritakan gitu misalnya this is my father. Nah, misalnya namanya siapa, di mana seperti itu. Itu kan bisa masuk ke LIP ya. Nah, justru tadi saya agak apa kok yang saya lakukan kesannya itu LIP bukan project based learning gitu. Nah, kemudian untuk project based learning, untuk junior high school yang kelas awal, kelas 7, itu kan ada materinya yang things ya. Saya pernah share ini things around around school atau things around the class misalnya, yang pokoknya materinya itu tentang benda-benda di sekolah. Judulnya at school kan, yang unit berapa? 2 kalau nggak salah. Nah, di sana untuk project based learning kita ini dulu, kalau saya ya, nah yang saya kira itu project based learning. Pertama-tama kita tadi tujuannya. Nah, kita mau mengetahui benda-benda yang ada di sekitar sekolah ya, yang di sekitar kelas. Jadi kita lihat benda-benda yang ada di sekitar sekolah. Kemudian kita buat grup, make a group. Nah, biasanya grupnya saya itu berhitung, kalau kita mau buat 5 grup, berarti berhitung 1 sampai 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jadi 1 ke 1, 2 ke 2. Jadi satu grup itu, misalnya kalau 45 ada 9 orang, kan lumayan ya, agak banyak. Kalau mau 6 ya silahkan gitu, atau 7 ya, tidak masalah. Nah, kemudian kita divide apa ibu saya nyebutnya TKP ya, ke anak-anak itu supaya kesannya kita di inilah lagi detektif gitu. TKP pertama misalnya, kita bagi si sekolah itu jadi 5 section atau 6 section bergantung kelompoknya. Misalnya, kalau saya yang pertama, wewenang Anda itu di parkiran, silahkan cari di sana. Yang kelompok 2 misalnya di sekitar, ruang guru dan ruang perpustakaan. Kelompok 3 di lapang, ada lapang ini kan ada 2 lapang besar. Kelompok 4 ada di lapang kecil, dan yang terakhir itu ada di kelas yang tengah gitu. Nah, kita jelaskan dulu tugas mereka itu ngapain aja. Nah, mereka harus berkolaborasi, bekerja sama, menuliskan benda-benda yang mereka lihat di sana. Kalau saya itu, Bu, berapa, Bu? Minimal 15 gitu untuk satu ini ya. Jadi mereka nulis semuanya. Yang mereka temukan itu kan per kata ya, jadi belum kalimat, kata benda gitu. Nah, kemudian setelah selesai misalnya kita keliling, ketika proses itu kita cek, jadi jangan biarkan aja, kita cek, oh di sini takutnya kan anak-anak biasa kelas 7 mah ditinggalin langsung ke kantin gitu ya, atau kemana. Nah, kita cek apakah ini, kemudian kita jelaskan assessment atau penilaiannya. Itu saya itu ada 2 biasa. Satu, kekompakan, jadi semua kelompok itu harus menulis semua, tidak ada satu orang yang tidak menulis. Kan jadi nanti kalau ada satu orang yang tidak bekerja, mereka itu kurang nilai kekompakannya, jadi tidak A, itu biasanya B gitu ya, B min itu kekompakan. Dan yang keduanya konten, berdasarkan konten. Nah, pas akhir dari mereka mencari dan mengerjakan, itu kan disuruh masuk lagi ke kelas, mereka melaporkan dan dinilai ya. Jadi si bukunya itu dikumpulkannya satu kelompok, tidak boleh satu-satu, harus satu kelompok dilipat gitu. Nah, mungkin di pertemuan berikutnya itu dijelaskan ya, atau ada di PR kan buat kalimatnya, misalnya ya yang there are ya, misalnya there is a car in the park. Nah, itu ya udah, itu mah nggak bisa, jadi saya lihatnya di rumah, boleh itu ya. Jadi seperti itulah yang saya pahami tentang project based learning. Kalau learning apa tadi yang LIP itu berarti kayak kita membuat tugas-tugas yang bersifat apa namanya, ya project yang digunakan. Nah, justru saya itu jadi teringat ketika Bintek gitu ya, di kata pengawas gitu. Nah, itu justru mengingatkan saya tentang portofolio. As far as I know, ya yang saya tahu, kalau ke portofolio yang kita tahu adalah kumpulan dari berbagai tugas anak ya, yang disatukan. Nah, ini. Ternyata portofolio itu menurut Pak siapa itu yang di itu Pak PNS tuh Pak dipanggilnya tuh Pak PNS ya. Nah, Panana Supriyatna. Jadi si portofolio itu harus dilaksanakan langsung gitu. Jadi tidak bisa di PR-kan. Ketika anak-anak membuat tanah liat, mereka itu membawa tanah liatnya, kemudian mengerjakannya di sekolah. That is portofolio katanya. Jadi ada proyek prosesnya itu berlangsung dan guru membimbing. Kalau misalnya guru ini tugas ya, ini kerjakan di rumah atau cari tanah liatnya, besoknya si anak bawa asbak. Nah itu bukan portofolio katanya. Nah itu seperti itu ya. Mungkin ada beberapa hal yang apa namanya diluruskan gitu ya. Saya juga kan kemarin-kemarin gitu ini. Nah, kok ini yang tadi yang project based learning kesannya ke portofolio gitu ya. Jadi kegiatannya itu berlangsung di sekolah seperti itu. Jadi sampai akhirnya ada yang dihasilkan, guru membimbing gitu. Seperti itu mungkin. Terima kasih Bu Teni, Bu Dinda dan Bu Tanti.
Baik, Ibu Bapak mungkin karena waktunya juga ya, Alhamdulillah diskusinya berjalan dengan sangat asik. Alhamdulillah punya insight baru dari Miss Aryana, betul untuk kelas 7 tahun depan mungkin ini bakal nyobain cara Bu Aryana itu ngebagi-baginya. Karena belum kepikiran Miss untuk di tahun sekarang, yang kemarin belum ada ini yang kayak gitu. Tahun depan ini bakal coba Miss. Oke. Mungkin that's all from me as the presenter today. Tonight, try my best to deliver the topic, and I hope it can be beneficial for us, especially for me as the presenter. Once again, thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dikembalikan lagi ke Bu Dinda.
Ya, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bu Teni, terima kasih Miss, terima kasih semuanya. Thank you all for the active participation and great discussion. It's been a very valuable exchange of ideas. To close our session tonight, let us pray together so that all the knowledge we gained will be useful for our professional growth. The prayer will be led by who will be prayer?
Pak Aris ya tuh Pak Aris. Aris masih ada Pak Aris? Halo, Pak Aris ada? Oke, langsung aja sama Bu Dinda aja, Bu Dinda.
Oh,
Ditutup aja. Oke, inilah ya.
Let me say hamdalah.
Baik, kita akhiri saja dengan alhamdulillah. Kita ucapkan hamdalah bersama-sama. Alhamdulillahirobbilalamin.
Ya, terima kasih ya.
Yeah, with that, our online meeting comes to an end. On behalf of organizing committee, I'd like to thank all participants and apologies for any shortcoming during the session. See you in the next event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Oke,
warahmatullahi
thank you.
wabarakatuh. Thank you so much.
Thank you Miss Tani. Thank you Miss
Terima
Tariana.
kasih.